what we tend to find on our bigger group practices is that focus moves maybe less from the individual tax liability that we're kind of looking at as we're stacking month over month and kind of trying to, annualize out what our taxable income is going to be, versus let's actually forecast out based upon all of our CapEx that we're going to depreciate, based upon debt payments, all this stuff, the cash that we're going to have in the business, and start trying to stack not just your tax escrow that way, but also build up that 10%, which, by the way, we look at the tax escrow outside of that, the 10% is 10% operating reserves, not tax reserve. And how long is it going to take us to get there? So it's just a difference mentality. The smaller practices, that they tend to not necessarily need that analysis, but as you get bigger and more practices and cash management becomes much more crucial, you're going to need to see that forward-looking projection and try to figure out how are we moving towards that ultimate cash goal, including the tax reserves.
Yeah, and also as let's use the portfolio of practices, as that grows. I had a client the other day that had one practice 2 years ago. Now they have two. They're both bigger practices. And the conversation with him was like, man, cash is getting tight, And I said, well, let's talk through this, why? And he's like, well, I've always kept $200,000 in the bank account and we've never had issues before. And I'm like, well, doctor, you were at $2 million in collections.
Right.
Now you got like $4 million.
Yep.
Your outflow's a lot more. So yeah, it's going to feel tighter. So as you grow practices, grow just in same store sales over that existing practice, you're going to need to increase that amount that you keep in. That's why we like the 10% number, because it's easy to calculate. 10% on projected collections, right?
100%. Yeah. And to get
not
back,
100%, 10%. No, I'm kidding.
Right, exactly. You need, we like 10% of projected collections. You say my goal is to hit 2 million. We think 200,000. To your point, tax escrow outside of that. Mm-hmm. We just think that's a safe cushion, and you just never know. You never know what could happen. We knew what happened in 2020, that we all had a safety net that bailed us out, but who knows? You just don't know. So I think the general consensus now is stack cash. You can put it in a money market and have it earn something. I know a lot of people hate having cash sitting around. You can have those reserves earning some
4% at least.
4%.
Right now. Yeah.
That's a nice little income stream, but make sure it's accessible if you need it. So something that's overlooked, people tend to have a lack of clarity